Next gentleman that I'm going to interview, he has a marvelous voice, and he has a rich history in the entertainment world and has traveled all around the world, and I'm very excited to have him on my show. So please help me welcome Eddie Stovall. Eddie, thank you so much for coming on to my show. I was so happy that you agreed. So first of all, tell us a little history, a little background. Where were you born, and did you grow up there or somewhere else?
Well, I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, and as a young child, my family moved to New York, and I lived there up until about 64, and had family tragedy up there. I had to move back to Alabama, and which is where I stayed until I went into the military. And I think I went in the military at 65 during the Vietnam War.
Oh, wow.
But my whole, far as my singing thing is concerned, is I've never not sang.
That's what I was going to ask you next. So when did you just start singing? And were you 2? Were you 4? Were you 10?
I started out singing little commercials on TV.
Oh,
just imitating what I saw on TV. And then in my neighborhood, I was singing to the other kids.
Oh, really?
And
about how old were you?
Oh my goodness, preschool.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was in school. Yeah.
See, that's awesome.
And when I got in school, I guess the teacher, Miss Bonnie, my music teacher, but the teacher that was in charge had me. I was singing with the senior choir, and I was like in the first grade.
What, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is so awesome. So, how old were you when you knew you had something? Was it that same time, or did you say, okay?
Well, I had always loved singing, so you know the kids that want to be firemen or policemen or teachers. But I've never wanted to be anything my whole life but a singer. I've never, nothing. I was never no option to be. I mean, I had other jobs. Don't get me wrong, because you got to live.
Right.
But as far as
your dream,
what I want to do with my life, it was singing. It was always singing.
So when was the first time you sang in front of a group? Was a crowd? Were you solo, or was it with a group?
Solo.
You were solo.
Well, they had a thing called Ted Mack Amateur Hour back in the 50s, and they was recruiting people. And my mother brought this guy upstairs to our apartment for me to audition for him. I was so scared. She thought I was dancing, because my legs and stuff were wiggling, but I was trembling from having sung. But the first time I really got something that I knew what was happening, something was happening, during the summer we would have summer camps and stuff, day camps, and they had a talent show once, and I wanted so much they stopped letting me compete.
Oh, right. I would do the same thing. That's like letting the Harlem Globetrotters play in basketball.
Yeah.
So do you have any siblings or anything, and are they entertainers as well, or do they sing?
Well, my sister didn't sing. I got 2 sisters and a brother, and there were the other one brother and the sister's stepsister. Well, half, not half. And my sister that was raised with me died a few years ago, but she didn't sing. But my whole family sang.
Oh, wow.
On my mother's side of the family, and my son sang. Well, much of my kids sing. My one son, he's seeking. In fact, he just signed a contract with Malaco Records.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So you mentioned you were in the military, and which branch did you say
Army.
you were in? And did you entertain while you were in the military?
Yeah, I had a group called the Showmen. The Showmen. We put a group together when I was in Alaska.
How many?
4 guys.
Oh, okay.
And had a band called the Soul Sonics. So it was like 8 of us in all, And I taught myself to play drums then, and always dabble around with the piano, But like I said, music has always been the most important thing about my life.
So you sang on bass, or did you travel
I sung on
around
bass downtown in clubs. I sung at the officers club, NCO clubs. We sung. And back then, we talking about 1965. And I guess the going rate for gigs back then on posts, they paid you $33.33 each.
That's an interesting number.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, very interesting. And when you consider, as a private, I would make it but $68 a month.
Right.
You
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Well,
right.
that was a big deal to me.
That's awesome. So when you got out of the military, what was the first group you joined or formed?
We call it Four Tracks.
And
we, in Birmingham, Alabama, we sung all over the southeastern area. We had a few records that did all right regionally. And we figured we had got as big as we could in that area.
what genre?
Hmm?
What genre did you sing? What genre was
Oh,
it?
it was a vocal group, so it was like the OJs and
Oh, okay.
Temptations, those kind of things. That kind of
wow.
stuff. Oh yeah.
And how long did that group last?
I joined the group in '68, and we stayed together till '76.
Oh, okay. That's a good while.
In fact, we left Alabama, went to California together, seeking our fortune and fame.
L.A. area?
Yeah, oh yeah. LA eat you up though.
Right.
You know, especially you knew, and
Exactly.
they can exploit you real good. Cause we thought we had got a contract. We thought with Jerry Butler's workshop, two guys named Lenroy Hanks and Zane Grey, and the songs that we did, we thought was gonna be our songs. We found out later on, they gave those songs after we recorded them.
What?
To LTD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. And so, what other groups did you sing with after that? I knew.
Oh, well, in '76, God, what's his name? Bobby Sanders. Zola Taylor for the Platters.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Was trying to put her group back together. And it needed some guys. And so me and a couple of guys from one of my guys went back home. He went back home. He couldn't take it. But we was relocated. We was through with Alabama at this point. But me and James and Ronnie started singing with Zola Taylor.
Oh, wow.
And first tour we went on was in Mexico, and that's when we first started going in and out of the country. And I started singing, like I said, I started singing with the Platters in '76.
Wow, that's a good one.
Still singing with them to this day, you know.
Wow.
A lot of personnel changes. A lot of people died. And stuff,
right.
You know.
And then I know you sang with the Drifters as well.
Oh yeah, I sang with the Drifters from.
So when you sang with the Drifters, did you leave the Platters or did you do
Actually,
both?
I was everybody. My motto back then was, "Have suit will travel."
Right.
Because what happened was they found out that I could do all this stuff. So it wasn't nothing for them to call me and say, "Hey, we going to Guam next week. Can you go?" Well, sure, I can go. So I went to Guam with the Coasters. I went everywhere, all over the United States with the Drifters. You know, I went all over the world with Hank Ballard. You know, Platters, all over the world. I'm just globetrotting. My kids grew up. I come home one day, I got a house full of grown kids. Who are these guys?
Oh, right.
Your kids that you wasn't here to see them grow up, you know.
That's just a part of the entertainment world.
That's part of it.
Oh, wow. So how did you end up in Branson? And how long have you been here?
Let's see, in 1995, we was traveling with a group called the Box Tops. Platters and Box Tops. The guys made the letter. Anyway, we got a gig to come here to Branson to do a car show. Every August, they used to do a car show here. And they would have a thing called Branson Cruise and Lights. And on the last day of that particular program, that week, all the old cars would get together and the entertainers would get in each of a car, and they would put your name on the side of the car, and you would cruise down Main Street, all the way from up the top, all the way to the whole strip. You know, that's what Branson was doing, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, we did that car show, and the people that we worked at, we did the singing part at a place called Mutton Hollow, which is not here anymore, but the Cushman family brought us in, And before we could even get back to our next gig, they called us and said, hey, well, how would you guys like to make Branson your home? So we thought about it. We said, well, we out on this road, up and down this road, and here's an opportunity to just put down some roots and just not leave. And that was 30 years ago.
And were you guys one of the first melanated groups to
Absolutely
get your roots in Branson?
Only other person here was Charlie Pride.
Wow.
You know, and we never had any kind of problems. The town took us into their bosom because that's the kind of way this town has always been. You
I've
know,
noticed
it
that,
was just straight. The entertainers here was just one big family. You know, we came to do one show and been here 30 years. That's something.
And how many venues have you sang at since you've been
here? Well, we
here?
started at Mutton Hollow. We left Mutton Hollow, went to Roy Clark's Theater, which later became the Hughes Brothers Theater. And we got our own theater down on Gretna called the Showtown Theater. We stayed there for a year, then we moved to the Americana. We was there for 2 years. Then went to the Starlight and stayed there 12 years.
Wow.
And then we went to the Icon, stayed there for a year. Across the street to the Tribute, stayed there for a year. Down here, we came down here twice at the Hot Hits Theater.
Oh, okay. So this is your second time back.
Well, yeah. Well, see what happened, you know, the town has changed a lot, you know, and as far as the age groups and stuff that come to town now, the families are getting younger, you know, and the town is getting more diverse, I guess you'd say. And to be in a big 4,000 seat theater right now didn't make sense any longer. So now we're in a small little theater that's quaint and personal, you know, and that's the personal part has always been our forte. We always love the idea of going out and mingling with the people and being, because people consider us their friends, you know. And
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'll come see my friend Eddie. I'll go and see my friend, you know.
And where is it that you sing? What's the name of the theater?
The Hot Hits.
Hot Hits Theater,
right here.
Downtown.
Downtown Motown.
Right. And
maybe you turn this thing out.
And then you have, you sing different groups, different...
Yes, I'm with, I came down here just to do my Platters show. And
Two Hot Hits.
Yeah, to the Hot Hits. I keep getting to say that, huh? I came here to do my Platters show, and they needed, they were putting a doo-wop show together. Well, they had a doo-wop show, but the guy that had the show had died, and they was going to revive the show. So they asked me to come down and, try to be part of it. So when I got down here, it was a mess, you know. But we put it together to where it is now, and it's a pretty good show. We got the old doo-wop stuff from the street corners, which is where I really got my start, as far as harmonies and stuff are concerned. Standing on the street corners of New York City, in the Bronx, you know.
Oh, okay.
A bottle of Kool-Aid.
Right, like I would see, they'd show like movies and stuff like that, and
that have, kind of thing. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. That's it. I mean, singing in the boys' bathrooms and on the corners and all of that stuff is real. You know, I don't know
and people would stand around and listen
and
to
watch.
you and stuff.
Oh yeah, we got the big crowds just stand there watching, you know, and everybody take turns leading and everybody take turns in the background. It was a proving ground. It was your finishing school, more or less, you know. And how I learned to harmonize, don't tell me, because I don't know.
Just natural.
I just knew.
Right, you can just hear it, unlike me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I sound good in the shower and in the car when I'm blasting the radio. You know, I'm like, dang, I can sing good. But I'm serious, too, until I turn it down and then I'm singing. I'm like, dang. That is just a shame. So tell us, because, you know, we have people out there that visit Branson, and I know friends that want to come and visit. So just let us know what the shows are and the dates, if you can remember.
Okay,
you have a lot going on.
I remember. Now, on Mondays and Saturdays, we do the doo-wop show.
Okay.
Mondays at 7:30 at night, and Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is a Platters show. Tuesday at 7:30, Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't mind the 10 o'clock show because you're through for the day. And 2 o'clock on Thursdays. And then, of course, the Motown show is from Wednesday through Sunday. past 7:30.
So you guys are busy.
Oh yeah, and plus we got two other shows in here. We got the Dean Martin show, and we have the Passage of Passage show. So like I tell the people doing it in the crowd, you can come to this little theater. I mean, it's a small little little theater.
And I'll show you guys how the theater looks.
Oh yeah, but a lot of talent in this little place here. I would put this theater and the talent in it against any show up there. Anyone. There's not one that I'm afraid of that we couldn't hold our grounds with.
And I'm one to love the smaller venues anyway, because like you said, it's more personal and you get to know them on a personal level and that kind of thing.
But we played the big ones, believe me. We played we played the biggest ones in town.
Exactly.
You know, and during that time, it was what was happening. You know, but times just change. You know, times change. You know.
So the question I love to ask people, because it took me a while to figure out my dream, you know what I mean? I'm talking decades. So I want to know, how does it feel to have this dream ever since you could remember, and just to be able to fulfill it as you as aspiring singers, and and they still haven't been able to fulfill their dreams. So how does that feel to you?
Well, one thing is for certain, there's nothing that I've missed out on in this business. You know, maybe the house in Beverly Hills, maybe, but I've been up there too.
And they're not that happy, so.
Absolutely. But as far as the things that I've done, the places that I've been, and the stuff, and the people that I've seen, I mean, just think about it. How many people do you know? I mean, just regular Joe Blow can say, I've been to Bora Bora, or I've been to Fiji, or Tahiti, or Australia, or Samoa, places like that. People go to, Paris and Spain. Places. I've been to all those places in my life. And the part that fulfills me the most is the fact that I was able to take my son, my oldest son, with me. And
I was going to ask you about that, if they ever traveled with you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime we went out of town, anytime we went out of the country, he's always been with me. And it was, you have no idea what it feels like to stand there on the stage and look over on the end and see your son standing there on the stage with you.
Is he the one that is pursuing it now? Oh, okay.
Same one. Like I said, same one. He's quite popular down in what they call the Southern Soul market.
Wow.
Yeah. He's making quite a name for himself. I'm very proud of him.
So to close this out, I'd like to ask you, why should anyone come and check you out? Now, I've heard you sing, and I'm like, my mouth hangs open.
Why should they come?
Yes.
What if they want to be thoroughly entertained?
Right.
This is what it is.
Imagine just watching him on stage and him throwing in little jokes in here and there as well. Just the whole entertainment. So I want to thank you so much, Eddie, for taking time out in the rain and cold to come down early.
The pleasure was mine, believe me.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Bye.